Hi and welcome. I'm Lisa. Thanks for joining me here on the Whimsy Stamps channel. In this video, I'm sharing how to create a few quick and simple cards using the Tropical Flowers 6x6 paper pack. Plus, we're doing some coordinating envelopes using Whimsy Stamps A2 envelope dies. Now, I have a few tips to share with you while using the A2 die set. The first one is what to do when you have a standard 6-inch manual die cutting machine and you want to use this die set. Now, I recommend that you approach it like you would when you're doing partial die cutting, and I want to demonstrate that. So I have a piece of paper that's cut to 6 1/8 of an inch wide. I'm lining the die on top of the paper, making sure that the cut lines are in fact on the paper. Once I'm happy with the placement of the paper, I'm going to add a piece of removable tape to hold that die in place. Now we're going to pass this through the machine twice to make 2 cuts. And by securing the die in place with a tape, I don't have to worry about realigning it after that first pass through the machine. Now with this particular machine, you have a little bit of wiggle room when you put the platform in there. You'll see how it moves to the left and the right. We're going to use that to our advantage. You're going to move your platform and your die cutting plate over to the left. You're going to take your die and your paper and lay it on that cutting plate, making sure that the left side is in fact on the cutting plate. Go ahead and cover it up, making sure that that top plate is completely covering the left side of the die. And notice how the right side is still out from underneath that cutting plate. That's where the partial die cutting comes in. So you're going to repeat that process on the right side. And here you can see you get a perfectly cut front panel. So now we're going to go ahead and put this together. I have the 2 main parts here, the front and the back, adding glue to that tab, lining that up with the bottom of the front piece, and then gluing the 2 pieces together. Now for my liner, I'm only adding glue to the top part of the liner, and then I'm going to center it up on the inside of the envelope. I'm going to take a pencil and mark areas that you want to avoid with your adhesive. If you add adhesive in these areas, it will close those areas up and you won't be able to insert your card all the way into the envelope. So you just want to be mindful of where you're placing your adhesive. I do want to take a second to talk about liners and why I've started only adding glue to the top of the liner. Now, I've just recently started doing this, but I found it has made a huge difference in the results. So if you struggle with the liner causing bulk or buckling up when you open and close it, if you add glue just to the top of the liner, it eliminates all of those issues for you. And it has made the process so much more enjoyable. Now, I do have another tip here that I want to share with you, and that is taking pre-made envelopes and customizing them. So for this envelope, I just cut a little bit off of the top flap here so that it would accommodate the size of the liner, and then cut my liner and went ahead and secured it in place. Again, only gluing the top part of that liner in. The bottom's going to stay in. The envelope holds that in for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting some cards together. Now off screen, I ran some white cardstock through my die cutting machine with the largest FaDoodle frame die. This particular card is a great card for mass producing. I did 4 of these in about 15 minutes. We have our pattern paper here. We're going to take it to our paper trimmer and cut it down the center at the 3-inch mark. Once we cut it down the center, we're going to give it a twist. Set this piece aside. Go ahead and twist the other piece. Cut a 1-inch piece and a 2-inch piece. Take the 3-inch piece that's left over and set that to the side, or you could go ahead and cut it and make another card. We're going to put all of this in our MISTI, and notice how I have the FaDoodle white cardstock laid down there. And then I went ahead and arranged my pattern paper how I want it so I can stamp my sentiment. Now I'm using the bold statements sentiment set for this, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it with some black ink. Now see, this is where that mass producing comes in. You could do all of that stamping at one time, then you could move on to adding the twine to your cards. You can totally skip this step, but I love the touch that it adds to it. So I just wrapped some twine around my panel and tied a knot in it and cut the tails off of it. I'm going to add some mounting foam to my pattern paper. If you don't want the bulk, just use glue or tape instead of mounting foam. The 1-inch piece on the top, the 2-inch piece on the bottom, and I snug it up underneath that twine just a little bit. Now, I thought it would be really fun to add some KRAFT cardstock to this, and I also went ahead and ran that piece of cardstock through my die cut machine with the Thatched embossing folder. I'm going to go ahead and round the corners of that KRAFT cardstock. I do want to share this little gadget with you guys that I found. This is the Sunstar Pro corner cutter. It has 3 different sizes, medium, large, medium, and small, and cuts like butter. I love this thing. I have it linked below for you. So let's finish off the cards by adding glue to our KRAFT cardstock, centering that up on an A2 card base, and then we're going to add foam adhesive to the back of our die cut FaDoodle frame and go ahead and center that up on the KRAFT cardstock. Now I do want to say that I finished these off with some gold self-adhesive gold pearls. I absolutely love these things right now. Here are the finished cards. So like I said, I did 4 cards in total, and you can see the matching envelopes that I did to go with these. So let me know what you think of the tips I shared with you on the A2 die. Plus, what do you think of this new Tropical Floral 6x6 paper pack? I think it is absolutely stunning. As always, I've linked the products that I've used in the video directly below for you. You can click those links to head over to the Whimsy Stamps website and check those products out there. And until next time, please take care.